Across the frozen expanse of the Arctic, enormous walruses gather on the ice, their massive bodies huddled together, tusks glinting in the pale sunlight. These majestic animals, weighing over a ton each, are a symbol of resilience in one of the planet's harshest environments. But beneath the surface of this serene scene lies a complex story. How do these Arctic giants, living in some of the most remote regions on Earth, end up as prized tusks and decorative pieces in homes and galleries around the world? For centuries, walrus tusks have fascinated humans. Carved into intricate art or polished into luxury decor, they carry both cultural and economic value. Yet, the contrast is striking. A peaceful animal in its natural habitat, contrasted with the global demand for its ivory. Understanding this journey means looking beyond the surface, at traditional hunting practices, regulated trade systems, and the delicate balance between human livelihood and wildlife conservation. In this story, the walrus is more than a source of material. It's a window into the Arctic itself, and a reminder of the challenges and responsibilities that come with turning nature's treasures into human goods. Walruses are among the most iconic mammals of the Arctic, instantly recognizable by their massive size, long tusks, and distinctive whiskers. These giants play a critical role in their ecosystems, helping maintain the balance of marine life along Arctic coastlines. For indigenous communities, walruses are also a vital resource, providing not just food, but materials for tools, clothing, and cultural artifacts for generations. Beyond their ecological and cultural importance, walruses have long captured human fascination. Their ivory tusks, prized for their density and unique texture, have been collected and carved into decorative pieces, jewelry, and intricate artwork. Historically, walrus ivory served as a key material in Northern Europe and the Arctic, even before large-scale global trade existed. Today, it continues to hold value both for traditional uses and in modern markets, often seen in luxury decor or collector pieces. This dual identity, part natural wonder, part coveted commodity, creates a complex dynamic. Modern demand must be carefully balanced with conservation needs and respect for indigenous rights. Legal frameworks, international treaties, and local hunting regulations aim to ensure that walrus populations remain healthy, while supporting communities that rely on this trade. Understanding the significance of walruses means looking at them from multiple angles, as wildlife, as a cultural cornerstone, and as a source of material that connects remote Arctic regions to global markets. In a rapidly changing world, where climate shifts and human activity increasingly impact fragile Arctic environments, this balance has never been more important. By exploring the story of walrus ivory, we gain insight into how humans interact with some of the planet's most remarkable animals, and the responsibility that comes with turning natural treasures into lasting value. In the Arctic, the harvesting of walruses is tightly regulated to ensure the survival of the species and the health of their ecosystems. Legal permits and quotas control how many animals can be taken each year, with strict oversight from regional authorities and international conservation agreements. These measures allow indigenous communities to maintain centuries-old traditions while preventing overexploitation. Traditional hunting methods are deeply rooted in cultural knowledge. Indigenous hunters use techniques honed over generations, relying on small boats, careful tracking, and precise tools. The goal is not only to secure resources for survival, but also to respect the animal, using every part from meat to tusks and hides. In contrast, industrial or commercial collection is more structured, often involving larger-scale operations that focus primarily on obtaining tusks for sale. Though still bound by legal frameworks and sustainability guidelines, once harvested, walrus tusks undergo a careful process. They are cleaned and dried to prevent cracking, then shaped and polished for decorative or functional use. Craftspeople may carve intricate designs or leave them in their natural form, depending on the market and cultural preferences. Each step requires skill to preserve the natural beauty and structural integrity of the ivory. Modern logistics bring these tusks from remote Arctic villages to international markets. They are packaged and transported by air or sea to workshops, where artisans continue the shaping process. From there, tusks may reach galleries, collectors, or high-end decor. Markets around the world. This journey spanning hundreds or even thousands of miles illustrates the intersection of tradition, craftsmanship, and global commerce. Connecting the Arctic's natural wealth to human communities across the planet, walrus tusks are impressive, not just in length, but also in size and weight. Some can weigh dozens of pounds, with the largest animals producing ivory that is highly sought after for carving and decorative purposes. These substantial tusks have a density and hardness that make them ideal for detailed work, and their smooth, creamy surface develops a warm patina over time, adding to their aesthetic appeal. When compared to elephant ivory, walrus ivory is generally denser and slightly more brittle, offering a unique texture that appeals to carvers seeking precision. Its natural color can range from off-white to pale yellow, and sections near the base often contain intricate striations known as schregger, lines which add both beauty and authenticity to finished pieces. These qualities have made walrus ivory a distinct and valued material in both traditional Arctic art and global luxury markets. The trade of walrus tusks also carries deep cultural significance. For many Arctic communities, tusk collection provides a critical source of income, supporting families and enabling the continuation of ancestral hunting practices. Carvers often transform tusks into intricate jewelry, tools, or ceremonial objects, preserving cultural identity while participating in the broader economy. However, walrus populations in certain regions are facing increasing pressure. Climate change is altering sea ice habitats, and human activity, including shipping and industrial development, affects migration and feeding patterns. These environmental shifts can limit access to healthy populations, influencing both hunting practices and the supply of tusks available for trade. Understanding these facts highlights the balance required, valuing the unique properties of walrus ivory while respecting the ecological and cultural systems that sustain it. It is a reminder that each tusk carries not only material worth, but also the story of an animal, a community, and the fragile Arctic environment they inhabit. Ensuring that walrus populations remain healthy requires a combination of legal protections, international cooperation, and local management. Governments in Arctic regions establish strict quotas that limit the number of walruses that can be harvested each year, with regulations carefully tailored to population estimates and ecological conditions. These quotas are supported by international agreements which help standardize sustainable practices and prevent illegal trade across borders. Monitoring programs play a central role in maintaining this balance. Scientists and conservation authorities track population health, reproductive rates, and migration patterns to ensure that hunting remains sustainable. Ethical sourcing standards require that tusks are obtained only from animals taken under legal permits, while anti-poaching measures help protect walruses from unauthorized or harmful activity. Advanced technologies, such as satellite tracking and aerial surveys, provide valuable data for both regulators and communities, helping to adapt practices to changing environmental conditions. At the same time, sustainability is not just about wildlife, it's about people. Many Arctic communities depend on walrus hunting for their livelihood. Food security and cultural traditions, legal frameworks are designed to support these communities, providing economic opportunities while encouraging responsible stewardship of natural resources. This creates a careful balance, respecting human needs, while protecting species for future generations. By combining regulation, monitoring, and community involvement, the walrus trade demonstrates how economic, ethical, and environmental considerations can coexist. It is a system built on respect for the animals, the people who rely on them, and the Arctic ecosystem itself. In this way, sustainability is more than a policy. It is a practice rooted in understanding, responsibility, and long-term planning, ensuring that these iconic giants continue to thrive while their tusks remain part of a legal, ethical, and culturally significant trade. The story of walrus tusks is more than a tale of trade. It is a complex interplay of tradition, economy, and ecology. In the Arctic, these massive animals are woven into the lives of indigenous communities, providing sustenance, cultural identity, and a source of income. At the same time, their ivory connects remote regions to global markets, bridging centuries-old practices with modern commerce. Yet this balance is delicate. Climate change is reshaping the Arctic environment, reducing sea ice, altering migration patterns, and affecting the availability of walruses for both ecological and human needs. As habitats shift, the rules governing harvesting and trade will need to adapt, requiring careful monitoring and flexible management. Regulatory efforts, from local quotas to international treaties, aim to protect populations, while supporting the cultural and economic rights of Arctic communities. Global demand for walrus ivory also plays a role. While markets fluctuate, awareness of sustainability, ethical sourcing, and legal compliance is increasingly shaping how tusks are obtained and used. This convergence of natural, cultural, and economic factors illustrates that the story of walrus trade is far more than material value. It is a reflection of humanity's relationship with the natural world, understanding where these prized tusks come from, how they are harvested, and the systems in place to protect both people and wildlife deepens our appreciation for the Arctic itself. It reminds us that every tusk carries a history of survival, craftsmanship, and human responsibility. In the end, the walrus is not just a source of ivory, it is a symbol of resilience, connection, and stewardship as we consider the future of Arctic wildlife and the communities that depend on it. The story challenges us to respect and protect the fragile balance that sustains life in one of the planet's most extreme environments.